The Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine acts as a hub for information, offering articles from archaeologists, detectorists and other specialists throughout the genre, featuring many links, event info and news articles associated to archaeology and metal detecting. We also offer professional review services and promotion for books, resources, videos, documentaries, gadgets, equipment and much, much more. The magazine is run by the archaeological and metal detecting community for the archaeological and metal detecting community. So come visit us at archmdmag.com, that's archmdmag.com, and check out information from our media section with all the latest content, news from the Archaeology channel, podcast and the YouTube channels that feature the now legendary Digger Dawn, the Man with the Hat and Archeo Duck, just to name a few. If you would like to offer an article, link or inquire about other services, then pay us a visit at archmdmag.com and drop us a line.
Welcome to the UK's first metal detection podcast. It's All Metal Mode UK with your host from across the pond, Mr. Michael Hare.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike here, and you're listening to the All Metal Mode UK podcast. Don't forget, if you want to check out my articles, allmetalmode.com. Don't forget to check out archmdmag.com as well. Facebook, you can follow us at All Metal Mode Podcast UK, Metal Detecting UK Dirt Fishing, Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine, and Archaeology and Metal Detecting Group. Don't forget, you can always catch us live on Spreaker, 8 p.m. GMT time every Thursday. You can also download it and listen to it on the go. You can find us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and even other affiliates. And please let your friends know about the podcast. We'd really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can join the chat and ask questions. It's simple to do. It depends on what platform you're on, but when you click on the show, there should be a bar that comes up, and there should be a chat bubble. And you should be able to see that chat bubble. Click on that, and it'll bring you into the chat, and you can chat live while we're doing the show. How you doing tonight, Dave?
Not too bad, Michael. How's yourself?
Getting over this cold, but I'm okay. I'm doing okay.
Apologies for last week. I died a death. I work in a major UK company, as we know, and for the first time since October, I was actually in the paint spray booth, and the heat in there just took it out of me to the point that I come in from work and died. So
that sounds tough.
Mike, I've got a bit of fantastic news.
Yeah.
Not just ourselves, but the entirety of the UK and probably European metal detecting community. I'm happy to let you know that our friend of the show, Julian Evan Hart, has come out of intensive care in the UK this week, and he is on a ward now. And according to his partner, Lisa, he's hungry for food and getting home. So it sounds like, thankfully, Julian's on the mend, and I, for one, am glad to hear that, and wish him all the best in his getting back to full health.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Our listeners know that I'm a huge fan of him. What a great guy.
Certainly. Couldn't be happier. So, and hopefully as well, Lisa's asked me to send along the link for the show tonight, and we might just have a him listening as well. So let's talk politely about Mr. Evan Hart.
We always do, though.
And of course, hi to Lisa as well if she's listening. And if I've actually pronounced that right, because it might be Lisa for all I know. So there's a pronunciation. So, Mike, how are you?
Good. Like I said, other than this cold, I'm doing okay. I'm still getting over it and coughing, but it's been rough doing the podcast this week. I keep losing my voice and stuff by the end, but we'll make it.
Well, some sad news as well from over in Ohio, back in your hometown as well. It's been decimated by tornadoes this week.
Yes, luckily, knock on wood, all my family's good, no major damage. But less than a few miles from my mom, there's houses gone, there's buildings gone. Luckily, she was okay. My brothers are okay. All my family was very fortunate because it hit all around them. And of course, I have a lot of friends in Ohio. I'm from Ohio. So everybody I've talked to is good. But it's funny because everybody I've talked to, we're so close. Mm. And, Ohio, like my mom's from the Dayton area. I grew up in the Dayton area. And I've got a friend probably, just a guess, probably 150 miles away in Ohio. They were hit hard all the way down there, too. I mean, it was a huge cell that came through and just wreaked havoc on the Ohio Valley.
Well, let's hoping that everybody is okay, will be okay, and get homes built and what have you, and get back to normal as soon as they can also.
Yeah, absolutely. Luckily, minimal deaths. I haven't heard of too many deaths, but absolutely devastated. Absolutely.
Well, shall we go into the news, Michael? I've got a few bits of news. One, to be honest, is it's a bit terrible for British metal detecting. Spoiled again by some rotters, let's say. We'll get to that at the end. First up this week, there's an operation taking place to recover some gold bullion from a sunken World War II ship off the coast of Donegal. The operations manager from Atlantic Subsea Ventures says that they'll have results in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So that's an interesting one around these waters. Second up, an entire 18-acre ancient Roman town has been discovered next to a major motorway. This is down in... Why do you have pop-ups block everything? Why? Why does it happen? Answer the above question. I don't want to answer the above question. The 18-acre site, it contains rare pottery, coins and jewellery has been found next to the A2 in Newington, Kent. Some beautiful pictures there, Mike, of some of the urns and such like that have been discovered. So 18 acres, that's quite a big find, significant indeed.
That's great.
Over in... Look, pop-ups again. Why do I do this? I know, I've deleted all my... I'll tell you for why I've deleted all my cookies shortly, because it is some news. Archaeologists in Rome have uncovered a large marble head from Rome's imperial age that is believed to be Dionysus, also known as Bacchus, the Greek god of wine, music and dance. And it is a big one, Mike. And finally in the news, a Viking coin haul of historical significance has been discovered. Sadly, it's been discovered by police who have seized the wares of two metal detectorists in the 50s and 60s. And obviously there's a lot of this going through courts and such like, so we can't comment on it mostly. But the people, a number of people have been arrested on suspicion of dealing in culturally tainted objects. So this hoard has been found, and it's being sold on without going through due process. And it is of national significance as well. The haul containing coins of Alfred the Great of Wessex and the lesser-known contemporary Ceolwulf II of Mercia, dating back to around 878. So the medieval specialists who are looking at it are claiming it's of national significance. But as I say, sadly, people aren't doing the correct thing and are being dealt with accordingly at this point. So, unfortunate that is the case. And as I said, I'd get back to it. The Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine is unfortunately down, and I can't tell you why. I've contacted my provider this morning, GoDaddy, and anybody who does go on, I've been emailed twice, and Luke also contacted me this morning to tell me. It says there's a back-end or gateway read timeout. I've been on to GoDaddy, but the issue between GoDaddy's firewall and the hosting timeout. So I've contacted them. They said it should be all back and groovy. Unfortunately, that was at 11 o'clock this morning. It's now 8 o'clock at night, so 9 hours. They haven't fixed it. I'll be on to them tomorrow, and hopefully we're back up and running, because we did have several new articles scheduled to be listed today. So apologies to all listening for that. So Michael, over to you. Michael's gone to the toilet. No problem. Probably anyway. So tonight's guest, we have Jamie Hodgkinson, who's a UK metal detectorist. Nice to speak to you for the first time, Jamie.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm not bad. I'll be better if I could sleep past 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'll get there. So, can you give yourself a brief introduction? Tell the listeners about yourself.
I'm Jamie Hodgkinson from East Sussex in the UK. Not actually far from Kent after listening to your story. I've been metal detecting for only about 2.5 years, but I got brought up on it about 40 years with my old man. So I know a lot of the insides out of how it all works and so on. I do my career as a postman, so I have plenty of time to go metal detecting after work. And that's more or less about it, really.
Now, if like the detectorists, when you're delivering post, you're constantly looking at the ground as well to see if there's anything there.
All the time. Well, I go for my break on the beach actually. So I'm always looking at the tides to see if there's any long tides and think, oh, can I go after work? Just go down the beach for a bit. Yeah. So it is an addiction.
Certainly is. Unfortunately, my addiction at the moment is on hold. I had 6 weeks off work after surgery 2 months ago. So unfortunately, my monies went per bow, and I've had to sell my metal detectors, unfortunately, at the time being. That's the sad thing. What's worse than that is eBay have decided, even though the package has been delivered, even though the gentleman is using the machine, they've decided that I haven't been selling long enough and won't let me have the funds. So X amount of pounds are sitting in my PayPal account on hold and not allowing me to have it. Thank you very much. So anybody wishing to sell your detector, I would suggest you use Facebook Marketplace as opposed to other auction sites. So obviously you're a postman. How old are you?
I'm 40. Well, coming up to 45 soon.
That's good, that. Well, it's not good, actually.
I don't know if it's good.
I thought I was 44 still then, but I'm not. I was 45 last week, so, again, somebody younger than me. And Mike's back. I can hear him shuffling in the background.
Yep. Hey, and before we go, I got to tell you guys something pretty exciting. I think I shared with you, Dave. Tuesday night, I had Daryl Miklos on from Cooper's Treasure. If you guys haven't seen the series on Discovery, it's really cool. I had him on the US podcast, and he is going to be on the UK podcast here real soon. Hopefully next Thursday. I'm talking to him. Absolutely fabulous guest, Dave. And for somebody who, has been on TV and everything else, really down to earth, nice guy. So I've just watched both seasons of his show back to back, Mike, and there's certainly a lot of questions I'd like to ask, and some that have been in the media that people won't know about that I'd like to ask as well. And maybe, I don't know if we're able to chat about his dad, but that'd be a few questions there as well. Good. Yeah. I'm excited. He was so much fun to have on Tuesday. Of course I had a list of questions and stuff. I didn't even get to him. He just got on there and talked. And he's very passionate about what he does. For you, those of you that don't know, the premise of the story is he became very good friends with an astronaut, Cooper. I can't think of his first name off the top of my head. Since passed, but while Mr. Cooper was, going around the Earth in orbit, he was seeing anomalies in the ocean, and he started marking those anomalies. Daryl became very good friends with him. Daryl's dad himself was a treasure hunter since the 70s, and when Mr. Cooper passed away, he gave him all this information, and he's been going out and finding these shipwrecks and stuff that were marked on these maps from Mr. Cooper. So a very interesting show to watch, very cool, very passionate guy.
Look forward to interviewing him. Mike, up to now, we've introduced Jamie. We know what his job is. And I'm sure, as you said before, you've got numerous questions to ask him yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Just some of the basic stuff. How and when did you get started detecting?
Well, I started when I was sort of like young, and I followed my dad's footsteps, and I picked up the metal detector again about 2.5 years ago that he just had in the shed. Because every time I went round there, he's got all stuff on his wall, and he told me history about stuff. And when I was at school, I was never interested in history until I picked up the metal detector, and now I can't just get enough of it. So I went out and started finding stuff straight away, and he was quite surprised to what the sort of stuff I was finding that early in the beginning of metal detecting. And he said, people been doing it 40 years and they haven't got some of the stuff I found. So that just pushed me even more just to do it.
That's awesome. Tell us about some of the things you found.
Well, my first item I found was 1200 stirrup mount. So we sent that off to the Flow, and they verified it and put it onto their Google website. So that was really good. And then my second object was a gold sovereign that I actually jumped up and down and banged my head on a branch. Just couldn't believe my eyes. And that was the first metal detector I had was the whites. So I was only just starting to know the all the tunes and the system. So I was just out doing it and started finding little bits and pieces. And then I've now got the Equinox, and it's like my left hand now.
What were you using before the Equinox?
It was the White's XP.
White's XP. I'm not sure which one that is. Dave, do you know?
Old.
It's old. Is it an old
You're
one?
asking the wrong person here, aren't you?
It must be. It must
quite
be
an old metal detector.
Yeah, it must be. If I haven't heard of it, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I think it was one. It was one of the first ones my dad used 40 years ago. So it's that old.
That's great. And is that what you found the stirrup with?
That was the first find, and I took it to my dad, and he couldn't believe it. He said, "Oh, you found that already?"
Oh, that's too funny. Too funny. Now, does Dad still get out with you?
He does, and every time we go out, it is a bit of competition with each other, and it's good because I do a lot of filming, so it is quite funny when we do the filming and he's out and he's got to do better than me and I got to do better than him. So it's a good challenge.
I bet he loves having his son as a partner metal detecting with him.
Yeah, well, my missus says that we're just like two peas in a pod.
That's great. That's great. I'd love to hear more about your dad. How'd your dad get started in it?
Well, I'm not sure how he actually got started, but I remember seeing photos my mum used to show me, and there's usually me when I was about 5 years old peering over a hole, and he's got the old white metal detector swinging it about, and I think he started on the beach. Before these new regulations and rules came out, there wasn't, he used to go up on the downs, and because he was an ex police officer, he used to get to know a lot of people. So he got to know farmers, and he got permissions on all their lands. So he had a good head start. And he did say when he first started, he did get spoiled a bit. And then afterwards, when things dried down a bit, it was a bit harder to find stuff.
I would love to see his collection after 40 years.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. His wife always says, "Well, what am I going to do with all this stuff when you go?"
That's too funny. That's too funny. Excuse me. Oh, hold on a second.
And then he's gone.
Oh, I apologize, guys. Like I said, I'm getting over this cough. My stomach.
Have you got many permissions of your own then, as well as obviously the beach detecting?
Yes. We've got. I belong to a club in Eastbourne, so we do group digs as well as our own permissions. So far, I've got 1, 2, 3 farms, and I did one farm. The first farm was right next door to my dad, and my dad said, "Oh, well, the group's been on it already. Well, they've had a couple goes on a couple of the fields," but he said, "You have a wood farm," and the farmer said, "Oh, yeah, that's fine." And I went on a field they went on, and he said, "Well, you probably won't find much on there because it's been hammered to death." And I came back with loads of stuff. I had 2 hammer coins off it, and he said he just didn't understand how they missed all that stuff. And I came back with it. And I do say, well, I do go quite slowly. I do take my time. And I was doing that farm for about nearly 2 years. I was doing that. I was just sort of like giving up on it now because I think I've just drained it now. So I don't think there's anything else on it.
That is wild.
Never say never.
Yeah, right. It's pretty amazing. You find a lot of. It's always fun to me to watch somebody new come into the hobby, and us old timers will think, that place is hunted out, and somebody comes in there with a new perspective and a new eye, and find a bunch of stuff. That's great, absolutely great. How often do you and your dad get out together?
Well, we go out every Tuesday, but and then the other days I actually go out with my other half. I've only just got her interested, and we've had a couple of competitions that I've done on YouTube, and she keeps beating me. I don't know why. But we went on the farm that I mentioned 2 minutes ago, and I have actually found 2 treasure items on there that have actually just gone to the flow. One's actually gone to the museum in London already, so we're waiting for a reply from London to see if they're either going to buy it off me or sell it back. But I'm hoping they give it back, because I said to my dad, it's not the money. I'm not interested in the money, but I just want to get as much displays as much as he's got in his house. So my missus has already given me a couple of walls.
That's funny.
So out of all your finds that you've had, what would be your favourite?
Let's see. I've got it was the gold sovereign. That was a Sydney mint, 1861, I think it was. That was one of my first finds. And I found a silver Roman and the dress pin, the silver dress pin. That was a medieval. That's the one I'm just waiting for to come back from the museum.
And of all your father's finds, which one of them would be your favourite?
He's got so many.
Must be one that since a kid you've cherished.
Well, Well, there's one on my bucket list is a Roman brooch. I still haven't found one of them, and he's got quite a few of them. So I'd like to find one of them.
That's incredible. Roman, do you know what his favorite piece is?
No, I'm not too sure, actually.
I think, well, we would have to do it through Skype, unfortunately. I bet he doesn't. I would love to just call him out of the blue and not even tell him we're on the show until he's on.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
On the spot. That's what he needs, really.
I wonder if he's listening.
I doubt it. He's just not technical with any equipment. He got this new mobile phone and he still doesn't know how to use it.
That's great. That's funny. So your competitions, and you started a YouTube account, right? You got a YouTube channel now?
I do, yeah. Yes, it's called Treasure Bandit. I only just started it this year. So it's sort of like I've got some bits in there because I've got the Equinox 800. I started off trying to explain to newcomers how to use the machine. My old man, he even bought exactly the same one as me. He's been doing metal detecting 40 years, but he comes to me for advice on the metal detector. But yeah, it's to do with how to go through the right procedures. If you find something that's valuable, to go through a flow, who the flow is, where you can find a flow, and the permissions that you need to get to go on land. You just got to stop these, what they call them, nighthawks, coming along and just trashing it and ruining it for everybody else. So, just prefer to make everybody aware that it is quite a serious thing that you need to think about.
Yeah, when I read some of the stories of the Nighthawkers over there, it blows me away that people have the nerve and to do that with your guys' laws that are so, really for the detectorists. It's really sad to see that there's still people that would do that.
It's horrible because when I'm filming, I can't film the country land because I've got to keep it private because of people like that. Mm-hmm. If you start showing where it is and they're seeing what you're finding, next thing you know, you're going to get murdered by them.
It's not just in the UK though, is it? I mean, we can't say it's just one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. This week there's been articles coming out of archaeology in Bulgaria where there's been near a chapel there's been burial mounds dug, and I mean dug 6 foot down to try and to claim that whatever could be in there. So it's a worldwide epidemic that sadly people don't take notice of the laws that are there to not just protect themselves, health and safety, but to protect the history of each and every country.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a real problem everywhere. It's even a problem here in the United States, especially like in the Civil War areas. I know some of those guys that have been followed and everything else come back and their spot's been dug up where they have permission, and know that the farmer didn't give anybody else permission. It just ruins it for all of us. Absolutely ruins it for all of us. And we are trying to get in good with the archaeologists, not get on their bad side. And those people that are so, just don't care. It's horrible. Well, weren't you telling a story, or I read a story from you, Dave, where a farmer was beat up and stuff on his own property? Yeah,
there was a couple of months ago that took place up in, I think it was the northeast. Don't quote me on that. Somebody will probably tell me. But that was last month. He'd caught people on his site. I think metal detecting, and he got a good hiding. But again, last year, Mike, we also had burglars enter the house of a gentleman who'd been metal detecting for a long time, and he had multiple coins, and he was actually, unfortunately, killed by burglars. So yeah, that's the worst face of it all.
That's horrible. I will say, I think it's A little less here in the United States. I definitely don't want to get into politics whatsoever, but, you're taking a chance with your life going on somebody's property in the United States. And not that, it's not the Wild West. I think sometimes people in other countries kind of get the wrong idea, but, you are putting yourself in danger. I mean, a lot of the farmers do have guns. Not that they would shoot you because you're on their property, but if you had a weapon as well or anything like that, you're liable to get shot. I mean, they don't mess around, and they'll run people off their property in a heartbeat. And so, I mean, we do have the problem. Don't get me wrong, but it's, I would say, probably a little less here than some of the other countries. Well, maybe we are a little more Wild West. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing in this country, Mike. We don't have that sort of severity. And, when something does take place in America regarding gun laws, then, it's a big thing over here because we don't have anything like that. But in some cases, could it be justified? Completely off topic, I know, but at least police. But then again, you get people saying that they're going gun crazy then. I think the most we do have, obviously, certain areas within the police force in the UK that are armed, but generally it's usually taser these days. But with the some of the crimes, for instance, the drug crimes, i.e. monkey dust as it's known in the UK, the zombie drug, as it's called, I've seen videos of police trying to stop them with tasers, and it's failed dismally.
Right, kind of scary.
But then by going into that conversation, we're getting into a massive realm of area that we don't want to get
to. Right. Not about politics here. We don't want to go there. But
no.
Not a good thing. But it's a problem worldwide without a doubt. I think it's you guys are more in the spotlight. I think there's more things. You guys are, in England, your history is known to be so rich, and so when something does like that does happen, I think it's and you're more at the center, at the top of the world where you're noticed.
But we've also got on that scale, the National Council for Metal Detecting have battled consistently for many years to be able to allow people like myself, like Luke, like Richard Lincoln, like Jamie, like Julian, to be able to go metal detecting in the UK. We could end up quite easily like France, where it's illegal to, I think, metal detect completely, or I think there's areas of Ireland where it's completely unable to metal detect. So thanks to organisations like the council, we are in a position that we can do this. And again, they must feel like sometimes they're fighting a losing battle, having the Nighthawkers and having the crimes that have prevailed in this country come to fruition after all that good work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you guys are
eloquent now, wasn't I, Mike?
Right? That was beautiful.
How eloquent. I feel like crying now.
Lisa Allen said, I need to come to Detectival in September. I'm telling you, it's just my dream to come over.
We're going to that.
Are you really? That is awesome.
Yeah.
One of these days, we are, Steph and I are both over 1,000 miles from each of our family. We're in Texas alone. We've got kids. Steph works. We've got the baby, the little demon nugget, his mom calls him. His mama calls him. He's getting ready to turn 16 months. And, boy, I'll tell you what, he's something else. But hopefully soon, somehow, some way, in the next few years. But right now is just tough, very tough. Heck, it's tough for me to get out. I sit, all week. Steph didn't have a day off until Friday, so I was just chomping at the bit to go out because it's been raining unseasonably for Texas, so it's really limited my time to get out. And then last Friday, by the time I woke up Friday morning, I was so sick, I stayed in bed all day. So I missed my chance there then. And then Steph works. She works and she don't have a day off for until next week. So, but But she is off right now, and when we get off of here, I'm going metal detecting. So let's hurry this up, guys. Let's hurry it up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
He's getting withdrawn symptoms.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're using the 800. Is the only other one? Oh, the whites. What you said XP? I think you got that wrong. Maybe either that
did
or was it the MXT or the XLT?
I can't. I'm sure it's the what. It's definitely a white one.
Do you know what color?
An old fashioned. It was black. I think my missus is trying to Google it now.
Okay. I'm sorry. There's
a year ago. I've had it now.
Myself and somebody else in the chat's like, XP, we're looking all over because I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was a real old one, but I can't think of what it would be. But I was thinking the same thing. I'm wondering if it's an XLT. That's been out about, but if it was something more when your dad got started, the XLT wouldn't have been out. I don't know. We're just curious. But then after you find that, we'd love to talk a little bit about the 800, what you love about it, how you set it up. I'm sure there's some people, it sounds like you've been very successful with it. Love to hear how you set it up and are running it. Dave, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go on. No, you go first.
I was just going to say, Dave, I don't know if you listened to last week's show. Had a wonderful time. Talking with Aaron from Deep Tech, and something really funny though. Last week, man, out of nowhere, I got sick. Like I'm grabbing a bucket, a trash pail. I'm getting ready to start vomiting in it. I told Aaron we're going to have to end the show, and then just all of a sudden it kind of let up, and I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. And we made it through, but it was hairy there for a bit.
I think you're just getting allergic to the UK shows now, Mike.
No. I feel great today. Now I just have a
Other
little
end.
Yeah, real bad touch of that. But I feel great today. I mean, other than I'm still getting over this stupid cold, but no, I felt great before the show. I felt good. I still feel good. I just, yeah. But no, we'll get through it. But yeah, last week was rough, man. I got the cold. You ever get the cold sweats real bad and your stomach's so messed up? And
I get that when I'm going to work, Mike.
Do you? I bet, yeah.
I got that one before I came on air.
Yeah, I got real sick.
I found out what it was. It was the white Spectra, and it's actually made by XP.
The white Spectra made by
XP.
I am so confused.
It is an old machine, but I think the whites still do. Yeah, they still make them.
The XL, is it the XL, the Spectrum XLT?
XLP, yeah, that'd be the one then.
Okay.
Yeah, Spectra, that's the one, yeah.
Huh. Good deal.
So you got all James Bond on us now.
Richard Lincoln said France and most of Europe illegal to intentionally search for historic or cultural artifacts. But if you've lost your keys in a field, or if you're searching for a lost hammer, I bet a lot of that's going on over there. People looking for lost keys and tools in fields. Ireland legal on the beaches. That's a shame. Richard said White's XLT Spectrum was the MK2 XLT.
Mark II, that.
Yeah, I used to have an XLT years ago, and I'll be honest with you, not a fan. I didn't like that. Me and that detector never got along. There's been two detectors that just, and I'm not bad-mouthing them. Please, I wouldn't want anybody to think that. But that and the Technetics T2, and I know people here in the United States that just love that T2 and do so good. But that XLT and that T2, those are two detectors that I never got along with very well. Have you ever used a XLT, Dave?
No, I haven't. Not even heard of one since until Jamie mentioned it.
I like to hunt slow, and it'll actually tell you in the manual on the XLT that if you swing it too slow, it'll false. It's kind of you got to whip that detector around pretty good. And Just something I didn't get along with it. Just that's all. Richard said, I think I've still got an XLT Spectrum in the lockup. Too funny. Yeah, they've been around. I know guys that still use them and do really good with them. Okay, I'm going off again. Tell us about the 800.
Oh, the 800 is brilliant. I was even thinking of getting my my girlfriend, but not the 800, but the 600 for her. But I find it, because I've only had 2 metal detectors, and that was only the XLP and this one. I was going to go for the Deus, but because of the price range, I went for the MindLab, and I found it absolutely wonderful. The depth is perfect. I alter it as I go along, depending on weather conditions and all that, the sensitivity, the recovery, to what I need. And to go on the beach, it is brilliant for the beaches. Absolutely.
Well, I'll be looking for. Currently, in my eyes, the only machine for me is the Ruta Salter 71. I thoroughly enjoyed that machine. I was very, very sad when I had to get rid of it not long ago, but I will, when the money's there, in the up and coming weeks, I think I'll be going back to that. But, I have looked at both the fors and against for both the Explorers and the XP. And then, of course, we've got the up-and-coming release of I don't know, it's actually called the Vanquish from MindLab, but I think that's actually, Mike, do you know much about the Vanquish? It's going to be released by MindLab. Is that sort of going for the same area as the lower Garrett market?
I sure don't. I'll tell you something. I'm glad you brought that up. Kind of funny thing. A lot of people in the U.S. are really upset. I don't know what it's like there in the UK, but they're upset like Garrett, like they're going after Garrett, like they're making fun of Garrett or in their video. And I've seen the video and I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm not sure what they're speaking about directly. Something about the hat, which looks like a plain black hat with like a yellow rim, as I recall. And I went back and I watched the video twice, and I'm not seeing where MindLab with that video is making fun of Garrett, unless I'm just missing something. Or not making fun of him, but like, I guess some people took it as like they were making fun of him or going after him, making it known that they were going after the Garrett market. But so I don't know. I'll be real curious to see more on that. Something I wanted to say about the 800, I know a lot of people, a lot of XP users, and I think it speaks volumes that I know a lot of people who have the XP that have gotten the 800 and love that thing. And they oftentimes will hunt a site with one and go back with the other. So I think that 800, as far as performance-wise, it really sounds like to me is performance of more like the higher-end detectors instead of the higher mid-range, from what I'm hearing of it. But I'm with you. The Rutus is brilliant. I love my Rutus. Absolutely. Fantastic detector.
Well, I think the price that you pay for the 800 I think that is a really good price.
Yeah, I do too. I think you're looking at more of like the high-end performance. I do know a lot of people here are upset with the arm cuffs breaking, the ears on the coils breaking, the shaft's uncomfortable and stuff. But man, you sure don't hear any complaints about the electronics of them.
No. It's like the grip. Me and my old man had a problem with, but we just got some mesh, some soft mesh, and put around it. There's ways of getting around things.
Yeah.
The only thing, I'm disappointed at is that they brought the small coil out, but they haven't brought out the 11 by 9 inch, the oval coil. And I would love to have that coil. They brought the big coil out as well. That's, I haven't got, and I've got told it does go deeper. But to get in between little crunny bits, you haven't got that coil that you get the same swing, but you got the narrowness to get in between.
That was something that was really disappointing to me starting with the CTX, that you could only use their coils, and who else made the coils for them that actually makes their coils anyhow? But that's one thing that I find disappointing, because for example, I like a good concentric coil, and you're not going to get that with Minelab. You're stuck with the few that they offer for that detector, starting with the CTX. But like Nocta Macro, for example, I don't even remember how many coils they have now. They've got 2 or 3 concentric coils. Yeah, Coiltech. Richard Link said Coiltech, and from my understanding, Coiltech makes their coils anyhow. But yeah, John O'Reilly said the 800, you shouldn't have to replace the shaft, arm cup, etc. It's kind of disappointing. I hear a lot of that, but I also don't hear about people upset with the electronics. They're out there finding some really killer stuff, and I know guys that, hold on a second, I got a cough.
It's all this chewing tobacco he has making him cough, I reckon.
No.
He needs to quit off that.
My missus just whispering in my ear, saying that they don't make it light enough for the females either. They should make it. I think it's really light, but she says it needs to be lighter for for smaller girls to use.
You need to get an ORX in her hand. I know some ORX, the XP ORX. I know some guys here in the United States that have them, and not only do they love them, but they're just blown away by how light they are. That might be something you want to look into for her, because I know we're very different over here, but I know I've got a good friend. Matter of fact, my co-host on Tuesday night's All Metal Mode show, he's running an ORX and he loves it. He's running it in the fields where, iron's your biggest hurdle, and other than that, you're looking for relics, and he does really good with it and really likes it. And he said,
"Well, I don't want her to do better than me."
Right. Well, I think they're definitely in the same class. They're definitely. I'm sure if you put them side by side, one of them's got some things it does better than the other one, and vice versa. I don't think you're putting her in a something way better, but it is super, super lightweight, even lighter than the Deus. They've lightened that new shaft.
Really?
It's incredible. Yep.
I'll look into that.
Richard said, I knew a woman 5'3" who had no trouble at all swinging a CTX. I sold a CTX, which is a very heavy detector, to a woman that was probably 5'2", 5'2" and under.
She's only 5'3".
Yeah, under 100 pounds. And
really?
She swung at CTX, man, like a beast. But I'm with her. I'm getting too old. The older I get, I remember 20 years ago, kind of in my head laughing at these old guys that were talking about they wanted something lighter. But now that I'm getting to be one of those old guys that have been swinging for a long time, I get it. I totally get it now.
My dad has to rest every 10 minutes because he's over 70 now, and even with the 800, he gets worn out so quickly. And I think that's the only reason he's paired up with me, so I do the digging for him.
Hey, Dave, did you hear that chuckle after he said how old his dad was? I hope his dad's listening.
I call him prehistoric.
I hope his dad's listening and gives him a good.
Mike, I think Jamie actually might be a bit older than yourself.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, yeah. I'm a young guy.
Yeah, shut up. You're exactly the oldest there.
Yep, I'm just 43. I'm the baby in this group. It feels great.
Shave the beard, then. We'll see who looks youngest.
I do. I look young without a beard. I do.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone thinks I look a lot younger than what I really am.
Yeah,
so
you do.
I can always lie.
I'm old and fat.
Yeah. Richard, John O'Reilly said, love to get my hands on the Rudis, holding out for the waterproof. wireless version of the machine. I do hear I hear rumors that it's coming. I have not heard that officially from Rudis or anything. John said, I've got all the top-end machines, and the Rudis is my favorite. It really is an awesome machine. I love there's a lot of different detectors out there I'm not brand loyal, but I got to say the Rudis is definitely one of my all-time favorite detectors, without a doubt. And I've had some really good detectors, and there's been some that I've really loved over the years, but Rudis just kind of hits, the 71 just kind of hits all the check marks for me. I do wish it was waterproof, I will say that. I don't know why, just because everything's going waterproof. I mean, rarely do I water hunt, and if I do, I could have I've got water machines. I think it's more about getting caught out in the rain and stuff. But, for our listeners, if you're in England, the UK, you need to take a serious look at the Rudis, especially for the money. Just a fantastic detector.
Actually, talking about water, we're actually looking getting some wetsuits and actually going into the sea with the metal detectors. That's a new area that we've not done before, and I'll be interested to see, what it's like. We went on holiday once, didn't we? And I did take the metal detector with me, but I found that I was just like diving, snorkeling, and I could see all these coins just amongst the rocks, and it's just got me thinking that actually diving where you can't get, where the tide doesn't go out far enough, that there is stuff there.
I think you're actually right, Jamie, in saying that LP Leisure Promotions have got was it the Nocta who recently released a waterproof scuba detector, Mike?
Are you talking about the Pulse Dive?
Think so.
That's the handheld pinpointer / handheld metal detector?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, but, and also, I don't know if you watched it on the History Channel recently. I can't remember what it was. River Hunters, it was called, where they were diving in the rivers around the UK. Aquachiga, the YouTuber, and another gentleman who's basically into outdoor swimming, and he was the presenter. But it was a good look. If you have a look at that on a History Channel, if you've got access to that, or even on YouTube, I suppose, you'll get access to that. But you can get some great tips of river detecting and such like with that. And then obviously, out yesterday, myself with my son and my brother, we went magnet fishing. And Mike, you wouldn't believe it, but I was actually bringing coins up out the bottom of a canal yesterday.
What? I didn't catch all that. What was that?
I went magnet fishing with my brother and my son yesterday.
Yeah.
And in the river we were at, I was actually bringing coins out.
Coins?
With the magnets, yeah.
How are you getting coins out with a magnet?
Honestly, British 10p's, pennies, 2p's, all coming
what
up
are
with
they,
magnets
steel?
today.
Are they steel?
No.
They've got iron in them.
I'll let Richard Lincoln answer that for us. The contents of the materials and why they're getting brought out of magnets. Huh. And in the meantime, if you carry on chatting, I'll have a look myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've watched some of those YouTube magnet fishing, and you do get some UK coins come out, but the only thing you don't get, like the silver, you won't get silver or gold come out. That's the only thing. But I think the last one I saw, there were magnet fishing a little river, and they actually pulled out a bag, and it was full of jewels, where someone's probably just robbed a house or an old lady's house, and they've put them in a bag, and they've just thrown them into the river. And there was a gold chain in there, a big gold chain, but there must have been some other items in there that was magnetic for it to be brought up. But yeah.
Wow.
Right, I can actually answer my own question now. In short, the composition of a 1p and 2p coin was changed from bronze to copper-plated steel in 1992. Okay, so you will be able to bring post-1992. The composition of 5p and 10p coins was changed from cupro nickel to nickel-plated steel in 2011. So that's why I was bringing up them coins yesterday.
That makes sense.
Which surprised me, but now obviously it doesn't.
Did you find anything else interesting?
Nothing of consequence. Basically, I had a tip-off that there was an area not far from where I used to live, where I was raised up, that somebody had brought up some World War II ornaments. So being told that, obviously, at some point I had to go.
Right.
We didn't find anything like that at all. Apart from the coins, it was just fishing, what they call stands, bit off a barbecue, a curtain rail, and some other bits and bobs, old rivets off canal barges and such like. Nothing of consequence, but that wasn't what it was about, Mike. It was about giving my 6-year-old the thrill of the chase, and he absolutely adored it.
That's awesome. That's great.
Well, you're also cleaning the rivers out as well.
Yes, you are. And I've got a ninja hook, grappling hook, what have you, with all the parachute cord that goes with it. And there was something in there yesterday that could have come out with that, I think, but it didn't even enter my head that I had it with me until I got back to the car. So I think there was a lady who come past walking a dog, and she mentioned that she'd seen people there numerous times. So the probability is it's probably been done to death. But yeah, as I was saying, Jamie, you could quite easily test the waters. That was a good jib. With a magnet, they're not expensive anymore. I find it's also a good tool if I am on an archaeological or metal detecting, a site of consequence. If it's got some form of watercourse running through it, you've also got the option of, if you finish a little bit early and you fancy doing 10, 20 minutes with the magnet, you've got that opportunity with you as well. And then again, as well as cleaning the rivers, you're also adding historical context more so to the area.
Absolutely. Hey, Jamie, I'll give you some advice on water hunting detecting. It's worth putting some money in a good scoop, a good wide scoop. Make sure you tether your detector to you. I know guys that have lost, got hit by a wave and they've lost their detectors in the ocean. Wear water shoes. I mean, people swim and stuff in the ocean and everything, but I've come across glass and everything else. I always wear water shoes but yeah, tether your detector if you're going to be in the ocean. I know too many people that have lost their detectors.
I'll bear that in mind.
Yeah. And a good scoop. Go ahead.
Sorry. We were hunting for. We were doing a recovery yesterday on a chap's ring down in Eastbourne Beach. I won't say whereabouts it is because we don't want too many people knowing about it, because we only want the people that are going to search for it, that are actually going to give it back to the owner. But he was a swimmer, and what it was is it's times like this where the tide is on a short tide, you just can't get out far enough, and with someone that can actually get in the water and hunt for it, there's more chance of actually recovering that ring back for that person.
I missed part of that, evidently.
Oh.
It was. I don't know if it was just
I was waiting
me.
for you to answer, Mike. Then
I don't know if it was just me or it cracked through my. Did he sound good to you, Dave?
Yeah, sounded fine. Yeah.
Okay, something's going on. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. Shall I say it again? What it was is that we tried to do a recovery for a gentleman that put a advert on Facebook saying he lost his wedding ring that his grandfather made for him, and he was in desperate need to try and retrieve it back. So I texted him saying that I'll meet him down there after work and have a little look for it. And but when I got down there, it was short tides. So when I spoke to him, I said it's more likely when the tide's gone out, it's pulled out further, out of reach for a land detectors to go. I said the only thing I could do is wait for a long tide and see if I can get it. This is why I'm interested in doing sort of like a diving detecting to help people find their stuff that they can't reach or anyone else can reach. So hopefully, I'm hoping, I said to him that I'll try again next week when we got long tides and hopefully retrieve it back to him.
I'm so sorry, Jamie. I caught all that except like your last sentence. That's all I meant. I didn't catch the last sentence. I apologize. No, my something was crackling on my end. I didn't know if we were losing you or if it was just bad audio for some reason through me. Sometimes we get that, Dave. I don't know. We'll do a show and we'll have issues and then nobody else is hearing it. Especially on the U.S. show, we actually. Last Monday night, we lost the show, mid-show. Just was got no sound. Couldn't get any sound, and we had to start it over. But I apologize. Sometimes I just don't hear everything.
Regarding the scuba detectors, there's two that I can spot straight away, and one is the macro pulse drive scuba detector, which is a little handhold one. Just like a normal metal detector, but if you can imagine your pinpointer being the handle and then the coil on the end of that a little bit longer. And the other one is the Quest scuba detector as well. So, and both are around £170-ish, I think, looking at online.
Oh, that's a really good price.
So,
especially if we go on holiday, it's because it's been smaller. It's actually easier to pack in a suitcase as well.
It is, but again, you have to look at each country's laws regarding doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to Turkey this year, and somebody said to me, "Oh, you can take your pinpointer with you." I went, "No such chance happening there, Flower. I ain't getting done for no one."
Yeah, no, you can look online because we did that when we went to Tenerife to find out which countries allow it and which countries don't allow it, and that actually gives you a clear list of which ones do and which ones don't.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, another thing you could do. I don't know if they're offered yet, but I'm sure they will be. You could possibly do a dive shaft for your detector. Where you take your, because that detector can be easily, the head unit removed, and you could put that all onto a short shaft.
Oh yeah, that's an idea.
Absolutely.
It's the only thing is when you're taking your other half, she always brings back more than what you took. So you always got to make room in the suitcase for stuff to come back.
Right. Yeah, I get that. No comment though, in case my wife is listening.
Mine's sitting next to me listening.
Oh, that's great. Does she? So she's beat you the last couple times while we're talking about her. What's that feel like?
Not very good. Well, we went on a hunt, and we did a competition on the first 10 holes, and straight away we had to take it in turns with the. Oh no, I had my dad's, or I had my dad's method, and she had mine. And I went into a field that I found a lot of stuff in, but I thought I hammered it. In between,
hammered.
She got a silver sixpence in between the eye that I actually missed, and I couldn't believe it.
Now I'm sorry, I don't know if you said what's she using.
She's using because my dad's got the same metal detector, so I borrowed his, and she was using my 800. So she knows how to use it now, and I was quite impressed actually for a girl. I've not been sexy or anything for a novice.
Next, you could say she needs a pink shaft.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
No, she's not. She's not in. She hates pink.
Does she?
Oh yeah, definitely. But for a novice to actually pick up on how to use it so quickly, it's because it is quite a simple metal detector actually for novices to use. It's quite simple, and you can as soon as you show them, they know how to use it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've heard that a lot of people are saying they're, pretty simple. What are your settings? And do you change it up for different locations?
I do, yeah. When I go into a field, I always use field 1.
Hey, real quick, Jamie, actually, she sounds like she's kicking your butt. Maybe she should tell us her settings.
No, she's saying no.
Maybe you can relay her settings for us. No, I'm giving you a hard time. I'm sorry.
I'm already having a hard time when she beats me.
Right.
But no, when I go into fields, I use field 1, full sensitivity, because I want to get the full max out of the metal detector. And then I change the recovery depending if there's iron. I try to sort of like get the metal detector the depth of the iron, so I can get in between the iron. So I get the recovery depending what that is. I use 5 tones on a field, but only have not 5 tones. I have 2 tones because I more or less dig everything apart from iron, because you just don't know. You have to. Gold can come up at any number on the Equinox. That's the only downfall, is that you get silver on a high number, but you get gold on a low number. So at the end of the day, you're digging every single signal just to find it, and that's how I found the treasures in the fields, because I've had dug everything apart from iron.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not. I'll be real honest with you. It seems like the women of the hobby do better. Scott Dubé just got in, and he said, I know the feeling. Like, Kimmy, on a regular basis, kind of out-hunts him. He's a heck of a hunter, don't get me wrong. My wife
she's got on her face now you said that.
My wife, with the kids and stuff, she usually doesn't get to go out with me. The last time we were in Ohio visiting family, we left the kids with my mom, and we went out, and Steph was hunting with us a few hours, and I'll be honest with you, I was glad for her to leave, because she was kicking all of our butts. I mean, between the 3 of us guys, we probably had 50 plus years of experience, and she's got, a couple years of just putting around with us, and she's just kicking our butt. And I'm just like, wow.
There is more women doing it, though. Mm-hmm. It's actually coming a bit of a trend now. So, and good for them. I think it should be for both sexes to do it, and it is good when you've got a partner that's actually enjoys it as much as you. It's good that you both go out together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. She would actually like to go out more, but, and she does go out with me some, but she's got, our son strapped to her and our little girl bouncing off of her and stuff. And the reason being, because I walk away as fast as I can to get some room, some space between us, so the kids cling to her and not me. And she takes it good, though. But it's usually her and our little girl detecting.
Mrs. Sadler's never been metal detected in life, and I can guarantee you she'd do better than me.
Well, when we first went out, on our first time she used it, and she started getting a hang of it, and I went to head for some bushes because it was raining. She was still out there. But the only downfall is that she don't like the digging for the stuff. So I had to go out in the rain and dig it for her.
That's not right. See, that's taking advantage.
No, I've got to teach her how to use a spade.
Mm-hmm. Steph's 5'2" and a pretty small thing. And when we were out this past fall in Ohio, she made me dig her holes for her and stuff. And finally, she's just kicking all of our butts. And I'm like, you're a big girl. You dig your own holes. I'm going to go grab my shovel, and good luck. Yeah. And she still kept beating me.
And what'd she say to that then?
She knew she was taking advantage. She knew she was slowing me up. She just smiled and went on her way. Mm-hmm.
So you think I should stick my boot up her bum?
Right, there you go. Yeah. But no, it was a lot of fun, and but women in this hobby, and I don't know about you, but the second my wife like puts a detector and a shovel in her hand, somehow she even gets hotter to me. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh, yeah, like you don't even expect it, and then the next thing you know, and it's really hard to concentrate when you're in the field.
Mike,
yeah,
calm down now, Mike.
Oh, my bad.
Live podcast, Mike. Find the children listening, Mike. In fact, can I just point out, I do know there's a child that listens, and if he is listening, it's friends of ours' son. He's in my daughter's class at school. I think he's just about to turn 11, and we took him down to play group. What's it called? Youth Centre the other week, and he went, "Oh, Dave, I listened to your podcast the other night. They're very good." Hey. So I'm not sure which ones he's on about because, well, I don't know if you know, Mike, I've recently launched a wrestling podcast called The Wrestle Vessel for those who are interested. I don't think it was that because I don't think he's into that type of thing. But, even so, we do have children listening. So I'm stopping you before you carry on.
It wasn't too bad. I wasn't getting too bad there yet.
No, because
listen, I've been in text conversations with you, Mike. So
yes, true story. So, does she run the same settings as you for the most part?
Yes, yeah. She stays. I give her the metal detector, and she has the same settings as me. So, and I just tweak it for her when she needs tweaking.
There you go.
No, she's doing really well.
Next time you go out, tweak them to optimize them for you. You know what I mean?
You know she's listening.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I'm not going to get away with this.
Never mind. Abort.
Yeah.
That's great.
But no, so talking about kids, yeah, I've also got my because I've got 2 11-year-olds, and I've got my little boy. He also enjoys doing it with me. We go out and do it, and so I'm hoping that I can put the trend down to them when they get a bit older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
next generation.
I hope
yeah.
I've got my stepson into it. And I'm really hoping I get my son into it. And that's why, like, when you were talking about you weren't into it when you were young and stuff, and how cool it must be to your dad now that you are into it. And, that's really cool. And, I think it happens with most kids. You like what your dad's into or whatever, and then you learn girls, and you just kind of drop everything else in life, and then you kind of come back to it. So that's really neat. Really.
Do you know, Mike, I don't know what it's like in the US, but of the number of rallies that I've been to, open rallies, the amount of children who are actually participating is fantastic. And you're not talking kids with kiddie machines, you're talking kids with proper machines as well, that know what they're doing. So kudos to their families for introducing it to them, and, to themselves for learning it and sticking with it and finding good finds as well.
Yeah. Randy's not old enough yet. Monkey gets into it quite a bit. She likes to go with me more than anything. But she's just turned 10, but she's, 55 pounds. She's a tiny little thing. But she does like going with me, and she will detect some, and we'll dig holes for her, and I'll dig holes and stuff for her. But, Randy, I will make a special shaft for a detector for him when he's old enough. I don't care. I'll cut a shaft down so he can go with me. But and Monkey's into it. She's got a real, of course at her age, her attention spans, will be detecting and squirrel, bird, and she's off running chasing a squirrel. But she does enjoy it, and at least it gets us out as a family and stuff.
Fantastic.
So, yeah. Yeah. Is your boys into it at all?
Mine?
I was asking. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
My wife just jumped in and said she hit 60 pounds, Michael. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mason's desperate to go, but I've never had a detector small enough for him. I've done the school treasure hunt the other week with the kids for his year for the pirate sessions that they were doing, and they absolutely, I hope I instilled the want to be involved in history or to learn more or to go metal detecting in at least one of them children, because to have 30 kids absolutely hanging off your every word and every beep the machine went was something else. And I've got it all to come again in a couple of weeks. I'm doing it for the Beavers as well.
That's awesome. Steph's giving me a hard time in the chat, and I just clicked on her name to look at what picture she has, and the name is Peyton and Stephanie, which is the girls, and it's a picture of her and Randy. So I bet Monkey doesn't know. I bet Peyton doesn't know that she's not in the picture there, Mom. Can't wait to tell her that. We'll see who's in trouble then.
Hello, Mum. I can actually see you now. My head's on one side, but I can see you. So let's do a picture a couple of degrees right.
Right. Yeah, we'll see what Peyton thinks about you after she knows you ain't got a picture of her in there with you. See who's in trouble then.
Yeah, Mom.
So we had a question in the chat. What's the 800 like in the iron? I'd be really curious how you answer it. I've heard it does amazing.
Sorry, repeat that again. Sorry.
We had a question in the chat of how the 800 does in the heavy iron, and I'm curious what your response to that is. I've heard it's really good.
I actually I actually go around the field and I actually look for where the iron is, because the recovery is so quick on it, just to get amongst it, because I know if I hit the iron, I know that there must be something else there, because, if there's iron there, there'd be other stuff there. Mm-hmm. It's better than hitting a quiet field.
Yeah, it'll work real good in the iron, correct?
It's very, very fast.
Yeah, very fast.
All you do is just change your recovery. Once you hit that iron, you just change your recovery to a quicker response, and you can actually just work in between the iron. Mm-hmm. And you will find targets.
Yeah, I've heard that about it. It's really good at that. Really good at that. What else we got, Dave? What else? I'm running out of things to ask.
I think we've gone through everything.
Have we gone through?
Obviously, the next question generally is, what's next, Jamie? What's up with you next? What's happening?
Well, I'm going out with my dad again. I think we're going to go Tuesday. I think he's starting to want to do the beaches now, because I remember last year he came down with me on the beaches, and he didn't have much luck, but I did, to say, on the ring side. But we've got a beach in Eastbourne that we've done a bit of a history on it, and we found out that the village used to be built in the cliffs, the old fishing village, down the far end. And where the only problem with Eastbourne beaches, it's shingles. So the ships come along and they put new shingle on the beaches. But where the cliffs are, they don't. And the sea's been cutting away. And I went down there last week and I said, I'm still finding some decimal coins down there where they're been. And then he told me the story about the fishing that village that was down there. So hopefully on low tides we're going to go down there. But we are going to go out to another farm. We did a medieval farm for the last month, but unfortunately we haven't found much there. Someone said there was a bag of sovereigns that was lost, but we still haven't found it there. But we did a dig with Luke in Upper Dicker in near Eastbourne. Someone found a gold status and some hammered coins, so that was a really good dig.
Hold on, are you talking about our Luke Higgins?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, the first time I met him, because I saw him on YouTube with his channel, the first time I met him was actually on the beach. He was down there metal detecting between the rocks, and I was doing on the surface, and we bumped into each other. We started chatting, and next thing you know, I've joined their group on the Facebook, because we've got our own metal detecting group as well that my dad's the chairman of. So we do a lot of digs for archaeology. We've actually got an archaeologist in the group that's actually learning the metal detecting side of things. So
hold on, did you say, I didn't catch that, did you say archaeologist?
Archaeologist, yeah. We've got a young girl. I think she was from Sweden or Polish, but she's come to the UK to do archaeology. She's been doing it for about 20 years, and she's actually joined our metal detecting group to learn more about the metal side of archaeology. And so we're teaching her to use the metal detector, so when she goes off and does her little archaeology digs, she can actually use it herself and help her find archaeology metal stuff. So that's a good thing for her, and plus we help her out by going on to her archaeologist, finding stuff we find for her, and then handing it into the flows and that. So it works on we just love doing it because it's a lovely hobby.
That's great.
But I think we went to the Isle of Wight a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? And we went to, I don't know if Dave knows, Needle Point in the Isle of Wight.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah, we went down there, and we don't think anyone's been down there. And I went down there on the right hand side, wasn't too busy, but I pulled up a 22 carat bracelet.
Nice.
That was, just shocked to see. And there's a hell of a lot of decimals down there. So it just indicated, well, this has not been done before. And there is areas in England that's on beaches that haven't been done.
Yeah, right. It doesn't seem like you guys are much, like most people are into the history and out doing it, but I like it all. I would do beaches for sure. That's awesome. I like it all, I guess. Just
this sort of time of year, the farmers they seed their fields, so it is a lot harder through the early parts of the summer period to actually get on farmland, unless you can get on some pasture. But the ground does go really hard. We've got a couple of sites that. We've got some Roman roads that are running through, but we can't touch them until actually September, after they've ploughed them. So it is that waiting process that you got. So in between that waiting, we've got the beaches. So it's just getting down to the beach, and otherwise we'd just be pulling our hair out because I get withdrawal symptoms. So I'll have to get out at some point.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, keep you busy in the summer, right? When you can't get into the fields. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That is wonderful. Do you know something we do a lot here? We go door knock on houses, and we'll do older houses. Do you guys? I don't think we've ever had anybody on that really does that.
Oh, I did one. I did a Tudor house. In Sussex, and it was an old house, and what did I find? I found a silver Crystal Palace thimble, didn't I? Yeah, and some old bits and bobs found it. No hammer coins or anything, medieval, but there were some bits. But now and again we do bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I did one on my rounds as well. Luckily being a postman, I get to talk to people. Yeah, and I've had it was an old medieval house that I did, and what it is it's good for us to do things like that because they had planning permission for the back garden to be built on, so they were going to build blocks of flats. Now, if things like this don't get covered, they're lost forever. Mm-hmm. And so before all these houses get built and all that, we need to get on there and search the areas to make sure the history is saved before they build on them.
Absolutely. That's brilliant. While you're talking, I'm also checking the chat, and John and I want to know, you said Swedish female archaeologist. Is your club taking new members?
I think they are actually, yeah. Yeah. I think they have to go to Eastbourne District on Facebook. They have to be approved by my father. And
That's us out, Mike.
I'm sorry, what's that, Dave?
That's us out.
Yeah, I'm a little far.
Yeah, you would have to come 3 times to be accepted. So that
well, let me ask you this. Can you draw me a picture of said archaeologist? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, enough of that.
Try.
I could try, he says. I could try. How do you like the club and being part of it? And do you enjoy it?
Well, I've been there, how long, about 18 months? 18 months now. And, and this year I just got 2 trophies.
Oh, cool.
So I got Find of the Month, and we do, like, score points on, like, third, second or third on artifacts and 1 on coins. So we have that twice a month, and they score us. And then you get a trophy at the end of it that you hold for a year, and then your name gets put on it, and then you give it back the following year, and you get a little trophy afterwards. But yeah, I was really surprised to get 2 on the first year I was there.
Oh, that's great. After doing the show, I want to come over to Detectival and meet. There's so many people now that I just would love to meet at Detectival. I want to spend some time and actually just detecting some fields. And another thing on my bucket list, well, of course I want to go drink some dark beers at a nice little pub, but I would love nothing after watching The Detectorist. I want to find a club like that and go be a guest at a club meeting. I think that would be really cool. Like, I love that show and how they portray the clubs over there. And it has been confirmed that some of them are like that. I think that would just be a blast, an absolute blast. Our clubs are a little different. The clubs I've been to here in the United States are quite a bit different. And it looks like so much more fun over there.
It says we have like people come down, and I think our next speaker is talking about World War One and World War Two, so ammunition side of things on the UK and what to do if you find ammunition, especially live ammunition. It has to be handed in to the police, and bombs, and because we get a lot of bombs over here that can be discovered, and a lot of people just would not know what to do. So we've got a speaker coming in this year to talk about that, but we get speakers now and again do it.
There's actually been a World War II bomb pretty local to me today. I think it was in Winsford. I'm not 100% sure of what was what. I have actually shared it, but I can't remember. But there's been one discovered in a house in Winsford, which is about 8 miles from me, Mike.
No kidding. That is crazy. Now, are they German or?
I'll just check on the details of that one. But
I think that's the one that blew up, isn't it?
Not sure. I don't think. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I think they blew it up and it destroyed some cars and that.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. I think the bomb squad came down and...
Interestingly, when you talk about things going off, I don't know if you've been watching it in the US, Mike, but we've got the Curse of World War II Gold playing on the History Channel at the moment, made by the same company who make Oak Island, and the Curse of Civil War Gold. But they were actually finding Japanese traps, munitions buried in caves on the last episode I watched, and that was pretty. And I'm not sure, but I think they've actually found something of consequence here as well.
Wow.
There it is. A Winsford home, as I say, it's not very far from me. It's been evacuated after a suspected World War II device was found earlier today. The device was found in an outbuilding. The residents who found it appeared the device was used in Second World War. There's no other information at the moment. They just police have announced that bomb disposal attended the address.
Is that
nothing else.
London?
No, Cheshire.
No, Chester.
Do I sound like I'm from London? So, yeah. Still going on all the time, Mike.
So
there's been others lately. There's beaches. In fact, the amount of metal detectorists have actually come across munitions that have had to call the bomb squad in, and obviously magnet fishers as well. When they've found things of consequence, it's quite astounding the amount of that are brought up still able to detonate.
Wow. I think it was last year we were sitting on the beach and we had this haze come over on the beach, and we thought it was someone burning plastic in a bonfire, and it ended up some sort of was it submarine, and it split because of the corrosion, and as soon as this gas hit the air, it just burst into this mist, and I think it was for a whole 24 hours people had to shut the windows because your eyes were streaming.
Oh, wow.
It was stinging like hell.
Wow, that is... Did they know what submarine it was? Figured out?
They won't. No, they won't, because it could have came anywhere in the ocean nearby. So hunting for it would be, it would take ages to look for something like that. There's all these shipwrecks around here.
Yeah.
But that's the problem we have in the UK because of the World War I and World War II. There is a lot of bombs and things that have not been discovered, and suddenly they appear and they can cause a lot of problems.
So are they usually German?
Yeah, mainly all German. Yeah, even some of the bullets. I found a bullet. I'm not sure what type of bullet it was, but as soon as I showed my dad, he said, "No, get rid of it." He said because they can corrode and it can still explode in your hands and take your hand off.
Believe it or not, people still find Civil War shells here in the United States, in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Carolinas and stuff, and they still get found, and every few years you'll hear a story of somebody got killed trying to, because those hillbillies, and I'm a hillbilly, I'm not judging them, they will drill them out to get rid of the old powder and stuff, and to save the shell, and they'll blow up if they don't know what they're doing. There's there's guys who do it. And they'll actually, I've seen videos of it. They've got like a shack, and they'll put it on the drill press and keep constant water flowing. And then they put the handle, they tie like a pulley system, and they'll drill it with cameras on it from 30, 40 yards away. It's really interesting, but one of them, every now and then somebody will decide to do it themselves and blow themselves up. They've blown up neighborhoods and stuff, Dave. It's wild, crazy, but that's really interesting. I didn't know you guys still found that. That would be so cool to disarm one and keep one. I wouldn't do it. I mean,
well, as I say, Mike, that the if you remember Drastic G, Gareth, the magnet fisher person who came on with us a while ago, if you watch his YouTube stuff, he's still bringing up things to this day, ornaments, guns, as varied and as old as World War II, right up to modern hidden items or crime-related items. He's still bringing things up today. And yesterday I was pointed to a spot that I know somebody's had World War II ornaments from, and I was hoping to get something, obviously, but at the same time, I didn't really want to get anything for the sake of having to call the police because it might be dangerous. But just to actually see something in my own vista of consequence, World War II wise, would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I I love World War II stuff in that era. It's really cool to me. What about those guys over in Germany and Poland and stuff? That's so cool. Like what Chris was doing, Addicted to Bleeps, on that show. What was it? Battlefield Recovery.
But yeah, something like that. Yeah, Battlefield Recovery, something like that. Yeah.
That is incredible to me. Absolutely incredible. You guys ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, I've just got a few mentions, Mike. I've had a new metal detecting event sent to me today, which is taking place in Cornwall from the 31st. Hold on. 30 days of September, April, June, the 30th of August and the 1st of September. That's in St. Austell, Austell. It's a weekend metal detecting rally towards Royal Lifeboats. You can, if you look up that St. Austell's MDC Club, they're running that one. As well, of course, we've got History Finders in Kidderminster on the same weekend, the 30th and the 1st of August and the 1st September, which I'll hopefully definitely be going to that one personally. Nice. The Rodney Cook is now virtually sold out apart from Sunday tickets. That's on the 6th to the 8th of September. If you can contact Gary Cook or Danesbury Metal Detecting Club to put in for the Sunday there. Obviously, we've got Detectable at Burford in Oxfordshire on the 14th and 15th of September. And Team of Yorkshire is in Lincoln on the 20th to the 22nd of September, with all proceeds of that one going to the site that they're actually participating on, which is a scout camp. So they're all the big major rallies that have currently been sent to me. Obviously, if people do want to send any more, send them to us via Facebook or email archmdmag.com. Editor at archmdmag.com, and we'll get them publicised for you. That's obviously a free thing that we do. So, get onto that. And if anyone wants any more information regarding that, give me a shout as well, and I can point you in the right direction.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dave. Jamie, before we go, how can people get in touch with you, and give us your YouTube one more time?
It's Treasure Bandit. Or they can just contact me on Facebook, as I'll be under Jamie Hodgkinson. So feel free to contact me. Any questions, I can try to answer them as best as I can.
Great. Super. And then, I can't wait to watch these videos of your missus kicking your butt. I got to be honest with you. I'm trying to look it up, and I'm not getting...
It should be a picture of a raccoon with a black hat and a face scarf around his mouth.
I'm not seeing that. I'll have to find
it.
If anybody can find it, post a link in the group, please, and we'll do that. But as soon as I can find it, I'll add you in. Anyhow, so we'll figure that out. Maybe when you get time, post a link to your Facebook group or your Facebook, and we can find it. And if you can, send me a link in Messenger. I'm sure I'll find it eventually.
Yeah, and you can put that direct onto the All Metal Mode UK podcast page, Mike.
There you go. Yeah, it's not coming up for me. I don't know. It might be screwy. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. My voice has had enough, and but I sure appreciate you coming on, Jamie. It was a lot of fun talking to you, and
thanks for having me on.
We'll have to con your dad to come on sometime. Your significant other there. We want your wife on, telling us how she beat you real bad and stuff.
Pleasure to speak to you, Jamie.
Pleasure to speak to you too.
Good night, guys.
Good night, Mike.
Good night.
All right, there you have it. We went through another one. I'm sorry, my voice, and I'm still sick, wearing me out. On Facebook, North of the Tyne Detecting, Addicted to Bleeps, Metal Detecting UK Dirt Fishing, All Metal Mode Podcast UK. On YouTube, we love watching Hunters Kimmy and Clodhopper Scott, Addicted to Bleeps. I Detect, Shilling King Metal Detecting UK. TC Detects, he's using a Rudis. I enjoy watching him. Grim Bleepers. And Aaron, South Coast Detect, or Aaron, who's always in chat, South Coast Detecting. Don't forget, if you're in the market for a metal detector, check out LP Metal Detectors. Leisure Promotions. It's www.leisure-promotions.co.uk. Thank you all for tuning in, and good night.